Hey guys, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your weekly tarot and astrology for May 11th through the 17th of 2020. We've got a lot going on in terms of astrology this week, so let's get right into it here. We have Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn all retrograding this week here. So this is going to urge us really to rethink our priorities, our strategies, our relationships, and our desires. Mercury also moves into Gemini, so it's going to bring up our communication, our interest in communication, and our ability to really have a lot of conversations. And we're going to be in the mood to just talk, say what's on our mind, say how we're feeling. We also have Mars moving into Pisces, and we're going to be fighting from a place of really deep beliefs and spirituality there. Venus, so let's get back into those retrogrades. Venus goes retrograde in Gemini starting this week, and it retrogrades for about 6 weeks every year and a half, 2 years. So this could bring up a lot of hearing from and reigniting old relationships with past lovers, old flames, people that, we haven't heard from in a while, and suddenly we're interested in again, and we want to hear from it. We want to see how they're doing. This is an extremely karmic time, and we're going to be dealing with a lot of unaddressed issues within a relationship. The Gemini energy really helps us to focus in on what's previously been said, especially if you're in relationships or you're dealing with somebody from the past, somebody that's coming back in. This Jupiter retrograde here in Capricorn has you looking back really on your beliefs that inform really your view of the world there, and it's going to retrograde until September 13th. We have Saturn starting its retrograde as well in Aquarius, and it will move later on into Capricorn and retrograde until September 29th. So this is going to bring up a lot of our limitations, our restrictions, our anxiety, our fear in relation to really our responsibilities. Maybe are going to be very tested, and we're going to be forced to learn more responsibility and how to step up to the plate on things, where we have needed to. It could be very hard but valuable lessons here, and offers us to really change and offers us to really recognize and admit the problem and work on it. So that's the astrology right now. We're going to get into the tarot, okay? Hey, Sagittarians. All right. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're looking at your May 11th through 17th week ahead with the Wildwood Tarot. I love this tarot. I feel like I haven't been using it as much lately. And I'll be honest, I was going to go for the Game of Thrones tarot for you guys. I don't know why. I associate certain decks with certain signs, or I don't know, certain decks really like to be read for specific signs. It's just very interesting. And you guys, for some reason, I don't know, Sagittarians call to the Game of Thrones deck for me for some reason. I don't know why. But let's switch it up, and we're using the Wildwood today. And I adore this deck. I adore the illustrations in it and all the meanings behind their cards. It's just, Let's get one more here. Okay. Let's look at your week ahead here. So your theme this week is Five of Stones reversed and Knight of Arrows. So we have the Hawk, and we also have this real energy of endurance that is reversed. When I see the Five of Stones reversed, I do like it. I think that it's coming out of a period of being very alone. I'm going to hold it upright so that you guys can see a little bit better, just because I love the illustration. It's, this child, or maybe it's an adult, who knows, but they're sitting, under this like stone outcropping, cave area with this fire, and there's a huge storm going on in the background, and they're just having to endure this alone right now and hope that everything will be okay. They kind of have to go through this by themselves. They can't really move right now, and it might feel like, there's not much we can really do in order to help ourselves. Although, he could probably just go inside and be fine, and then his, fire wouldn't get rained on, and everything wouldn't be bad, and he wouldn't feel, cold and stuck as much if he were to build that fire in there, but he's not. So when it's reversed, we're coming out of this period of loneliness and almost like you put yourself in this kind of position because you haven't asked for help. You haven't done what you probably could have done in order to make sure that you're comfortable, that you're safe, and that you're asking for help when you need it, and that you're reaching out to people. There's a certain sense of pride and ego that needs to be pushed through to get the Five of Pentacles reversed. And that's what I feel here, is that we've put our pride and ego aside on it, maybe have asked for help, or are coming out of this isolation and this kind of self-imposed cycle of lack and loss and loneliness. So when you get the Knight of Swords with that, it's very harsh energy when I get the Knight of Swords. He's very quick, he's very intense. He also is very brave, though, at meeting his opposition. So it could be that, you're finally just changing our minds here, moving forward, saying what needs to be said, doing what needs to be done, putting on the brave face and getting ourselves out of a situation that we've been in. We're going to speak to somebody, we're going to communicate about it. And with all this Mercury and Gemini energy and all, again, we're moving into a Gemini season pretty soon. And we also have the Venus retrograde in Gemini. There's a lot of talking and communication for good and bad that is really highlighted this week, but it's also forcing things forward or forcing things to change and shift. Okay, also be reevaluated. And your emotions, I really enjoy the Hooded Man coming up here, because it just feels like after a lot of trials and tribulations of, the forces that you've been, that have been at play in terms of, what's been happening to you, all of the, like I just said, the trials, the tribulations, difficult times. And I feel like you guys have, like most of us, have been weathering through some difficult stuff. And this asks you for contemplation and stillness at this time, to step back and kind of go into a spiritual retreat for yourself. You need to emotionally and in your feelings, you feel that you need to step back right now, and that we need to, have some calm, some stillness, and not so much rocking the boat and craziness right now. So we need to take that step back with the Hooded Man for stillness. The Archer helps us there also in terms of help, as we take that step back, as we contemplate, what has happened to us, how we've changed, as we kind of recover from what we've been through. The Archer says it's time for you to really point your direction, point your arrow towards your goals here, decide how you're going to get there. This is the time for pulling back and really, contemplating all those next steps that you were going to be taking as you move forward here, where the arrow is going to lie and how you're going to get there. So this is really a time for contemplation and preparation for me. It feels, we're pulling back our arrows, we're aiming, and now we're going to loose, but we can't do that without taking this necessary time for stillness within us and around us. Career is nice though. Page of Vessels, King of Bows. So there's a little bit, for some of you, it could be that you're starting something new creatively. You're having some type of awakening in creativity this week. There's just a more of an emotional offer or attachment to work. Things feeling good. Maybe we're working with people we really enjoy working with. But there's just a certain sense of happiness and pride and joy in our work. And also possibly for some of you, especially if you work in creative or communication fields, we could be, trying out something new or having a new little project, a new offer that helps us in terms of stepping up to the plate here, becoming more of a leader at work. Some of you guys are really showcasing your talents and skills and really enjoying it because of it. There may be somebody who was like, hey, you want to be a part of this project, and you're really excelling at it, showing how amazing you are, and really, really stepping up to the plate in a way that a lot of people respect, see, and are turning to you for direction. So this is really big. I really like the King of Bows, because you guys are bows, and to see the king there, it's like awesome and incredible. So let's now look at love here. Seven of Arrows first comes up here, insecurity. They don't even need to put the word there for that card, because Seven of Arrows is, Seven of Swords. It's kind of a more sneaky card. What are we hiding? What are we holding on to? What's, eating away at us that we're not telling the other person about? And sometimes it's fearing the worst, being insecure in our relationship, assuming somebody's hiding something from us that's really big. The Eight of Vessels comes back after that, though, with rebirth. And for me, this asks you, especially with Venus going retrograde, because now all of a sudden it's going to be like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of insecurity and fears, especially also with the Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. It's going to be a lot of this fearful, scary, kind of anxiety and worst case scenario thinking and feeling right now, especially if you're in a relationship and you don't feel you can trust them. So walk away from that. When you see the Eight of Cups, it's like, recognize that these are not feelings you want to be a part of, and step away from it however best you can. By, finding out the reality, or just not giving into these feelings that are making you feel so insecure. Insecurity is the root of this issue, and insecurity is what we need to step away from this week, especially emotionally. Your advice and guidance here is the Queen of Arrows, which is the Swan. For me, this is a very calm and perceptive energy, very intelligent. I'm going to make this decision because it's obviously the best, and I know it's the best. I'm going to see things in this very truth, light and dark kind of way here, in this very truthful way, and I'm going to communicate what needs to be said. Especially with so much moving into your opposite sign of Gemini and so much action there in relationships, it's going to put you in this more clearly communicative headspace about things, and able to see, where we're letting our emotions get away with us, and communicate and really see very clearly how to get out of those situations, how to really see the truth of it rather than the emotional falsities that are coming up. So let's pull some oracles here for you guys. Ooh. See, and for some of you, especially if you're in relationships and all of a sudden this insecurity and this mistrust and stuff is coming up, or that you feel like all of a sudden you're hiding things and you can't talk about it and all that weirdness is coming up, know that this could be the one, like the person that you're with, you've already met the romantic partner you seek. You could be so, suddenly insecure in your relationship and assuming the worst and being like, maybe I need to get out of this. It's the Venus retrograde. So just like calm down, because what you're in, it feels like to me, is true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. For those of you that are single, there's a lot of insecurity that you need to step away from and start believing in love and connection and start truly being present there. You've got to leave that insecure, and that all those insecure feelings and worries and stresses and the lies that you tell yourself, your anxieties, you've got to let them go. Tell them to take a hike. Let's pull a romance. I just said romance angel. Actually, let's pull a Stacey DeMarco Halloween Oracle. I'm feeling that right now, actually, instead of the other ones. Let's pull one of these guys for you. All right, Sagittarius, advice and guidance for your higher self for the week ahead. Ooh. All right, let's get this one up here. Night Song, Hidden Talents. I really like this one. I always feel like this is a nice message from the universe. If you see birds this week, or if you have association with cardinals, pay attention, and maybe you'll be receiving some little messages this week or seeing them. All right, so should this beautiful but shy bird sing to you by appearing during your divination, know that you must unwrap the present of yourself. Look, some of the gifts within you remain unopened. The time has come to step into your true potential and claim all possibilities for yourself. There is no more time to waste and no more excuses. So Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed your little weekly reading here. Check them out for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. And have a great week, guys. Do be sure to subscribe. Do be sure to leave me a like, a comment, guys. I love hearing from you, and I really appreciate all of your support. If you do want to book a private reading, guys, I am still doing 20% off of all of my readings right now, so take advantage of that, and all the information on booking is in the description box below this video. Also, guys, if you were interested in getting, an astrology analysis, a compatibility analysis, numerology analysis, Truly Divine is a really incredible site that offers all of these things, and they're more in depth than any other astrology chart analysis that I've gotten, any other birth chart thing I've gotten, compatibility, numerology. Like, they blew them all out of the water. I cannot tell you how impressed I was. It was like 17 pages of information that was so on point. It was crazy. So do check them out, guys. You can use my code Deku30 as many times as you like, and give it to as many people as you like, and always get 30% off of your orders through them. So check that out, guys, and have a wonderful and blessed week. Namaste.